AMI will allow people that can pay 50% of the rent to be able to live in some of these new structures, because you might not want to say gentrification is here. It has occurred, and it occurs at the hands, and I always say this, of a Democratic Party and a Democratic council that has really betrayed the black community. Thank you.
Now, keep in mind, it is now 9 a.m. This morning. Councilwoman, you want to answer that, but we can do it as soon as we come back from the NPR break.
Yeah, of course,
okay?
Of course. Well, I got till 9:30, so we're good.
All right, we're good. We're going to answer that, Queen Mother, and we'll be right back.
Answer it now and then come back?
No, we'll come back from the NPR for the NPR break, and then when we come back, we're going to hear more from our Councilwoman, Gwen Henderson, right here on the Sunday Forum.
Live this is from NPR News in Washington, I'm Giles Snyder. President Trump took office less than a week ago, and his slew of executive actions, pardons, and threats of tariffs and sanctions are making waves. Late Friday night, Trump fired the independent inspectors general at 12 major federal agencies, as NPR's Mara Liasson reports.
Inspectors general play a critical role in assuring the lawful and efficient operations of government. They're responsible for identifying fraud, waste, and abuse in government agencies. But Trump has promised to reshape the federal government, not just slashing costs and regulations, but also by establishing the Department of Government Efficiency to, quote, dismantle government bureaucracy. Firing the nonpartisan inspectors general will be challenged in court. Congress requires 30 days notice of the intent to fire an IG and specifies that the president must inform lawmakers of the, quote, substantive rationale, including detailed and case-specific reasons for the action. Mara Liasson, NPR News.
President Trump confirmed the firings this weekend, telling reporters aboard Air Force One that it's a very common thing to do. Democrats are blasting the move as a late-night purge. Israel has missed a deadline to withdraw from Lebanon as part of a ceasefire agreement with the militant group Hezbollah. Some Israeli forces remain, and today they fired on Lebanese people trying to return to their homes. 15 are reported dead and dozens wounded, as NPR's Emily Fang reports.
This weekend, the Lebanese army accompanied villagers who were attempting to return to their homes near the border with Israel. That's when they say the villagers were shot at by Israeli forces. The Israeli army said that it fired warning shots at, quote, suspects who were approaching their troops. The Lebanese army said one of its soldiers was also killed by Israeli forces. And it said that Israel is violating the ceasefire agreement by not withdrawing completely. Israel says it won't withdraw until it's sure Hezbollah has removed all of its fighters from the area. Emily Fang, NPR News.
Separately, displaced Palestinians are still being blocked from returning to northern Gaza. They were supposed to begin returning this weekend, but Israel says Hamas breached the terms of the ceasefire when an Israeli civilian was not included in yesterday's hostages for prisoner swap. Multiple evangelical Christian organizations urging the Trump administration to reconsider some of its immigration-related initiatives, as NPR's Jason DeRose reports.
The group Evangelical Immigration Table describes itself as a coalition of Christian organizations that advocates for immigration reform consistent with biblical values. In a letter sent to the Trump administration, it says two policies in particular are troubling. First is the end of long-standing guidance that prevents immigration officers from entering sensitive locations, such as churches. The other is the suspension of the refugee admissions program, which limits the U.S.'s ability to offer, according to the letter, protection for people seeking to enter the country in order to practice.
This is NPR. The rain falling in Southern California this weekend helping firefighters corral those wildfires that destroyed entire neighborhoods in Los Angeles. But officials are worried about mudslides and the runoff of toxic ash. Flood watches are in effect in some burn areas. Italy's Jannik Sinner has claimed a third Grand Slam title with a win in the Australian Open men's singles final against Germany's Alexander Zverev. Christina Kokulya reports from Melbourne.
It was a battle between the world's top two men's tennis players in Melbourne. World number one Jannik Sinner took control of the match early on, maintaining momentum against world number two Alexander Zverev to claim victory in straight sets 6-3, 7-6, 6-3 in 2 hours and 42 minutes. Zverev had hoped to win his first Grand Slam at Melbourne Park, only to fall short. Sinner takes home over $2 million in prize money from the first Grand Slam of the year. Accepting the trophy, the Italian addressed the crowd at Melbourne Park.
It's an incredible tournament. For me, it's until now, and hopefully it keeps going like this. The most special Grand Slam.
For NPR News, I'm Christina Kukalya in Melbourne.
Today's NFL games will decide which teams will play in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. The Washington Commanders are set to play the Philadelphia Eagles for the NFC title. The Kansas City Chiefs will play the Buffalo Bills for the AFC Championship. The Super Bowl is set for February 9th in New Orleans. I'm Giles Snyder. This is NPR News.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include the Cy Sims Foundation, partnering with organizations and people since 1985, working for a better and more just future for all. More information is available at cysimsfoundation.org.
Your news, your views, your values. This is WMNF Tampa 88.5 FM.
Want to hear what one listener called the most disrespectful show he's heard in 20 years?
Join Donna, Liz, and Amina at 10 a.m. on Thursdays for Surly Voices.
A fresh, fun, feminist take on current events, politics, and social justice.
Slaying the patriarchy, one show at a time.
Surly Voices, Thursday at 10 a.m. on WMNF 88.5 and WMNF.org.
Greetings and salutations. It is I, DJ Spaceship. And if you're hearing the sound of my voice, that means your day is already off to a great start. But in case you've been under a rock, I am the new Friday morning host right here at 88.5 WMNF from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. with my co-host Nate Diggity Dog. So hey, let somebody know there's something new going on in the Bay right here at 88.5 WMNF.
Hey, WMNF family. Are you craving funky bass lines that don't stop slapping? Do you yearn for guitar solos that will melt your face? Then come on down to WMNF Fam Jam, Saturday, February 8th at Bayboro Brewing. Hailing from Asheville, North Carolina, we have one of the hottest growing acts in the Southeast, the Snozberries. And closing out the show, we have the OGs of Tampa's jam scene, Coke. Get your tickets now at WMNF.org.
Hi, I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now!, 9 a.m. weekday mornings right here at 88.5 FM. You'll hear the same fearless investigative reporting on topics too hot for the mainstream media. Tune in to Democracy Now! 9 a.m. weekdays right after the morning show. That's right here on WMNF, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Sarasota, Lakeland, Clearwater, Winter Haven, and Venice.
WMNF is accepting volunteer applications to be part of our on-air team.
And welcome. This is Latinx.
Welcome to the Soul Kitchen and Design. Your resident chef, Big Eddie G.
Join your favorite voices on 88.5 FM, WMNF.org, and our HD channels. If you've always dreamed of being on the radio,
I would love to be on the radio.
Now's your chance. Join your listening-supported radio station, WMNF. Apply under the programming tab at WMNF.org.
They got us trapped in. I'm trying to rap my way out. Anchorman. Interview. It started off with depositing bogus checks, dodging the law like DiCaprio, catch me if you can. I saw the return on my money in effect, buying cars for accidents, changing them number scams. The streets got me sucked in, ducked in, harmony like a guitar when it's plugged in. Solo dolo when I'm doing my escandal, making power moves with the professionals. You got no choice in a certain territory, in a certain category. Got my vision block locked in. Gotta change my ways cause my connection's locked in. The other day my man got caught at the airport. Now he's doing 10 to 15. Hungry, we were both fiends chasing that cream. I figured out money wasn't worth my life, but on the other hand, I can't work a 9 to 5, nah. Picture me paying high tax. Families are starving in the hood, sending money to Iraq. New generation, listen. They're supposed to be a lower class, supposed to be an outcast. They're supposed to be a prison. Add it up and do the math, they come in and get our ass. New generation, listen. They're supposed to be a lower class, supposed to be an outcast. They're supposed to be a prison. Add it up and do the math, they come in and get our This is Anchorman, no need reporting from NY. Asking too many questions is like...
Man, listen. Well, Billy, you never cease to amaze me, brother. Deconstruction of the Mind by Okai. Listen, I'm a hip-hop head. I'm a hip-hop head and a jazz head. Everybody knows it about me, right? Man, listen. This is the type of stuff we need to be listening to, man. We need to be playing. This is the stuff that has you thinking, right? Like back in our day. You know, that back in our day, we had poor righteous teachers.
Yeah.
You know, UTFO. We had leaders of the new school. You know, people that made you think about what it was that you were doing, that was happening. Right. This guy's speaking truth, man. Absolute truth. Listen, and I give shout out to Doechii, local talent that has really hit the mark. Glad to see her doing her thing. We played her on this show before. She is from Tampa, went to Blake High School. True talent. A lot of great talent comes out of there. A lot of great talent comes out of Blake High School. I used to be a teacher. I was a physics teacher there, and I can tell you, man, it was my pleasure to see those children, I ain't care black or white, but especially the black kids, playing this music off the top of their head that was classical music or just whatever it was. Well, what you want to hear, Mr. Smith? I'm like, what you mean what I want to hear? Playing the harp. This girl played the harp at the graduation ceremony that brought everybody to tears. The song she sang, she composed it, the whole thing by harp, and played it at graduation. She was a senior, and I think she went to Juilliard, if I'm not mistaken. Lovely girl, lovely personality. She was one of my students, and I was so proud of her. It was one of the greatest things I'd ever seen. And I spent 6 years in Hillsborough County school system, and I can tell you that was one of my greatest things right there, to see my kids do that. Right? So, Deconstruction of the Mind by Okai, who's not from Tampa, but just one of the things that Brother Mabili played for this morning here on the Sunday Forum. All right, folks, we're back with our councilwoman, Gwen Henderson. Woo! FAMUing, by the way. Again, I can't stop saying FAMUing.
College of Love and Charity.
We gather around that noble shrine.
We lift our voice in praise to thee.
And ask all blessings, all divine. Wow. FAMU.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, we could go all day with that one, Jack. And
I want to try to answer Connie Burton's question.
Yes.
It's very, very challenging because I feel her passion, and I actually understand. You have to go back to look at the history of the Tampa Housing Authority and the decisions that are made there, the history of Tampa City Council and the decisions that are made there prior to Gwen Henderson, and even the this is gonna be the tough one. Even the black folks who sell their land and they think it's a lot of money. And they sell their land, for $200,000.
I give you $10,000 to walk out right now.
Yeah, and it's really valuable because their mindset is that this space is not beautiful and it's worth giving up, or not paying the taxes on Big Mama's house and someone else taking over the lien. There's just so many different elements to the question, and also the mindset of white folks who are not afraid to move into the inner city. They're looking for affordability as well. So, we can dial up numbers and beg people to apply for things that actually exist. Right. And that does happen. We have a rehabilitation, grant program up to $150,000 in East Tampa and West Tampa.
Right.
And so, but there are also people who are afraid because, I don't want that money. I don't want to have to pay back that money. They don't have to pay it back, but you can't sell your house either. You have to live in your house, and your grant will be forgiven. That's how I got my house, from the Tampa Challenge Fund.
Right,
there was a lien on it for a few years. And so just even...
Ain't no shame in it now.
No shame, because Tampa Heights houses are selling for $1 million, and that is generational wealth for the folks that did take advantage of that program in the 1990s. And so it's really even about educating. There's just so many, misconceptions about even the opportunities that are out there that, you know, our folks can take advantage of. We can put it out there on the table and they still may not bite, you know? Right. And then, but there are people who do take advantage of programs. The Wellness Center on 40th Street, owned by a FAMU Rattler, a pharmacist. She also owns the property. She and her husband owns the property on Main Street, and we're getting ready to go under revitalization. So there's baby steps, but I can't deny that white folks are coming too, and you can't deny that. I can't deny it, and we can't discriminate against them. They have the right to be there as well. Right. That may be a hard pill for some people to hear, but it's absolutely true. They are entitled to be in spaces. Exactly. So that diversifies the neighborhood, and that's just a fact. Right. Yet, this Thursday before City Council, Mr. Doby, who bought property in Tampa, early historical figure in our community. He also bought the Zion Cemetery so Black folks can have a place to be buried. A white woman came before City Council. She did all the paperwork. She lives in Mr. Doby's home, and it's now on. It's a historic designated house now because she did the paperwork. Now, are we gonna stop that?
No.
Now y'all know. So, but what she was also saying was Hyde Park used to be Black. That's what I was thinking when she stood before me. This was a Black space that is definitely, Hyde Park is beyond gentrified. And, but the fact still remains that, she wanted to preserve and pay honor to Mr. Doby, and she did that. And, of course, it was unanimous. Some things we just can't stop, Ms. Burton. But at the same time, there's a belief system in place that when there are organizations that's trying to do the right thing, I can see there being misconceptions or fear in the community about what it's going to look like and who is it going to benefit. But at the same time, we have to open the coffers to everyone. And that is just a fact. I know that is not popular, but think about it from this perspective. People who have made it, Black folks who are highly educated, make good money, and there's a lot of them in Tampa, and a lot of them live in East Tampa, by the way, because I have friends. And so people who are doing really well, and then they want to live in spaces where it's predominantly white. And so they should be welcomed, just like, I don't want to get into the weeds of this, but we live in a diverse society, and Tampa is like that. And so the person down the street in my neighborhood who moved in, who bought $1 million house, looked like me and you.
Right. I think one of the things that continues to be a problem with that entire thing is that you have people who come in who are not from Tampa. Yeah. Right? And they purchase. When they purchase, they come in with having been from New York or places like that, where the salaries or retirement are extraordinarily high, and their mortgages up there are completely different from what we see down here. And it has changed. I noticed a trend in development. As I'm in development, and as I watch these things happen, I look at who is behind what's happening. Yep. And those people who are buying, those people who are developing and building these houses and so forth, they're not from here.
They're not.
And
they'll buy the entire block.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll put a price point on there that they're accustomed to seeing, which has blown the market completely out the water. But when it crashes, what happens is that house ends up underwater. And when it's underwater, we have a problem. We have a serious problem. And the person who's in it, who probably can't afford it, at that particular time, which is what we saw in the last crash. Yeah. They end up doing, these quick purchases or sales of the houses that they're forced to have to do. But what it does to our community is, and this is the part that is the ugly part, we end up being pushed out and priced out.
I have a question, Councilwoman. So, like you said, you have the challenge program for those that want to do restoration to their homes and whatnot. Do you have a program for those people that live in that community, live in West Tampa, to help them start a business that's right there in West Tampa? Those stores that are not doing so well, that may be closed down, or the gas station. Do y'all have a program for those people to try to start a business, something to help them out on doing that?
The city of Tampa has a small business economic development hub. A young man that just got hired a couple of months ago. He took TK's place. I can't think of the name of it, but yeah, we have services and programs to help small businesses. You can go online to the city of Tampa and look that up. The city of Tampa is very diverse in what it does to help this city improve and grow, and in helping its citizens thrive as well. So yeah, we do have that. And it is on our website. I can't think of all of the details surrounding it, but we do have small business development programs. We even have programs that help people get through the certification process to do business with the city of Tampa. There's a lot of things in place, services that are available to help people. And when I say people, I mean everyone. So, and that's us included.
Right. And the reason I say that is because I do agree with you. I have a small business as well, and I did go through I'm certified through the city of Tampa as well as Hillsborough County. So I know there are, like the ECC down on Palm Avenue, they do help you with some of those things as well. The reason I can understand what Sister Connie was saying is because we have this conversation quite often on the show that we put particular people in place because they ran on a platform of helping the community, building a community, seeing the need of the community. But then when they get that seat at the table, they don't actually address all those things that their community told them that they need.
Well, listen to this. I will respond to this with this. There are 7 council members, and it takes 4 votes to get anything done. So one person cannot be the savior of a community. Don't expect that from me. It takes 4 votes to get anything done in this city. You can verbalize that you want something that supports your community, and you have good intentions and it's meaningful and you see it the way that the community sees it. But at the end of the day, it's 7 of us and it takes 4. Getting to 4 is very important. And sometimes we get there and sometimes we don't. Sometimes I'm on the losing end. Sometimes I'm on the winning end. And that's just a matter of, I see people don't like that. And so I didn't go into this business making promises to anyone. And that's the beauty. I didn't even have the support. So the funny part is that I don't owe anybody anything. So I'm coming from a perspective of, I'm going to do what's best for the community. I'm going to listen to the community. I'm going to be respectful of the community. But when I cast my vote, I said what I said and I did what I did. And people have a right to either like it or not like it, and that's okay. And I encourage, I'm like, hey, if you want to run for office because you see it another way and you feel like you can do it better, I encourage competition. I have no problem with that. At the end of the day, I am of service to the residents of the city of Tampa in its totality and the 65,000 constituents in District 5. So me supporting the things that even people inside the community, they see it differently. They don't like the direction of it. You have a right to feel the way that you feel. But I'm not thinking about you or the past or what somebody did or didn't do. I'm trying to make the best decision to move the city forward. We're getting ready to get some housing over on Columbus Drive, and the opportunity to help small businesses and early young entrepreneurs to get their businesses off the ground and have an affordable place to live. There are people in the community that didn't support that. There are people in the community that didn't support Fair Oaks. There are people in the community that didn't support Rome Yard or Water Street, but those or the Riverfront property. There are things that people do not support that look just like me. And that's okay. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at the totality of it is going to still benefit us more than it hurts us to go ahead on and move forward. Right. And so
we got. Wait. Jose,
go ahead.
We do that, let's not lose sight of the phone calls that are here.
Yeah,
we got phone calls. Let's go to the lines right now.
All right, and we will go to the phone lines, but we can also take emails.
Oh, wow.
DJ at WNF.org and David Bryant, quote unquote, Mr. White Pip. He says he would love to see a new grocery store to replace the old B&D supermarket at the corner of Hillsborough and 40th. He said he missed the big and dirty.
Of course. That's hey, at the Toba breakfast, a woman that lives in the community stopped me, and that's exactly what she wants to. And I will say that. I will continue to say that to people who want to talk to me about development. But at the end of the day, it's going to take someone who wants to invest in East Tampa in that way, because people are in business to make money.
money. Indeed.
Yeah. And so now if there's some black folks that want to build a grocery store, we welcome that. So
especially cooperative.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
And sometimes especially in light of where we are politically as a society, there's opportunities for us to come together and do things for ourselves. And this is just one of those opportunities. So, it may be outside of the box.
Accountable. We have to hold ourselves accountable.
Absolutely.
So I agree with you 100% on
Absolutely.
that. You're absolutely right.
Let's get to this call. We lost one call. One call dropped here. So let's get to this call here.
Go ahead, caller.
Hello, my name is Valerie Bullock. How are you all?
Hey,
Good
Valerie.
morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
Ponce de Leon.
Yes, Ponce de Leon College Hill.
College Hill, baby. Yes. Get it right.
Correction.
You know what I would like to see in East Tampa, and a lot of more people would like to see in this?
Tell me.
We would like to see an economic engine. We don't need no more training. What we need is paychecks. And once again, I'm going to say the old East Winn-Dixon Warehouse, the Clorox site, Singleton, Old 97, and Florida Steel, those were our economic engines to walk to work. Or you call a bus to work. Now it's no jobs in East Tampa. And every time you turn around, it's training, and there's no accountability because the people don't get paychecks. We got to make decisions that is for the betterment of most people. What I'm seeing in Tampa is pay to play. If you're connected with the right people, your name will be part of the building, or your name will be part of the organization, and your company will get kickback. But nothing never trickles down to the young people in Tampa. And it's no reason the people in Ponce de Leon and College Hill should be going through the same trauma I went through 60 years ago. We still got black boys, uneducated, black children can't read, black girls getting molested. We still got that going on. So where is our exhilaration for trying to change that? Black people are being left behind. We are the forgotten people of East Tampa. And yeah, y'all can bring the $1 million homes over there, but you still have houses where there are fourth generation of black people living in one house.
Valerie, I don't disagree with you. When you look at the economic drivers that did exist in your community, like Clorox. Clorox is a white-owned Fortune 500 company, and they did leave the community. So you have to go and look at, what happened? Why did they leave? Where did they go? Did they have a financial incentive to move, their business outside of the community? It doesn't start necessarily with us. It starts with who is investing in a community and what they're doing. And so now it's Clorox is not there, but Amazon is now on the outskirts of Tampa. It's just, it looks different. And so it requires for people to make those adjustments as well. If a business wants to open in the inner city, that is historically across the country, it is rare unless it is a very small business. People are moving to outer spaces where they can build larger warehouses to do the things that they need to do. And so those are white-owned companies. If there is a black company that has that type of manufacturing and infrastructure that they want to move into the inner city, they very well will do that. That is, sadly, that is the past. That did exist, and it did allow for people to thrive. But that is not here, and that is not the fault of a black person where these companies have left. You have to look at the history as to why they left. Where did they go? What are they doing? Or does their business still exist? And I know that is tough to hear. As far as, kids not being able to read and write, You live in a city where this is the 7th largest school district in this country with highly qualified teachers. I happen to be one of them that worked in schools. And so our role is still here and it still exists. And there are plenty of well-educated people that are teaching kids every day who come to school. But it don't start with me. It starts with getting them in the building. And so if there are girls being molested, that also, trust me, the school system deals with every type of trauma that a kid has. And there are resources within our Hillsborough County Public Schools that will help every single kid, even that particular kid. And there are organizations that help children who need us the most. And so I don't, when you come before us, and you say what you say, you have a right to say that. And if there's a person, an individual that needs help and you know that they need help, my office is definitely, Darlene Johnson will help find a way and the resources to get people what they need. And I'm included in that process. That does happen. And it's just inch by inch, day by day that we have to, address things that not necessarily are my responsibility, but because of the community that I serve, there's a high need there. And I'm an educator. I have to help people. And so, it is really sad when we don't have, these perfect worlds for our children to live in. But it starts with each individual who wants to do the right thing to help kids progress in our community. And so if there is a child that's being hurt and you know that they're being hurt, that's something that together I can at least do my best to try to help with that situation. That's not the role of a city councilwoman, but it is a part of me being a good public servant. I'm not going to turn my eye to that. But I can't address why every company has left East Tampa. I can't address that. I would have to dive into the history of it. There's a book called Ybor City, written by Dr. Sarah McNamara. She's a professor at Texas A&M University. I sell it in the bookstore. And she talks about Ybor City. Ybor City is not just Hispanic. And so what's interesting is she actually, you know that. Yeah. Your mom grew up over there.
I'm half Ybor.
And so if you read this book, she literally word for word documents the public comments that came before city council of what people said when they got ready to tear down the scrub. And so people in Ybor, there were people who lived in Ybor City that said, well, y'all gonna tear down their community, but they cannot cross Nebraska.
That's some dirty stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and so that exists. So don't you think that there are people in your own community that can hurt you? And put it on record. And so when you look at the history of Tampa, why things are no longer exist is something that I can't go back and fix. And I'm just going to say that publicly. I can't go back and make those changes to make people do the right thing or serve a community where they once were and they have decided to move their businesses. It's just, so what you can do, what we can do is look at who's coming back. The Skills Center, a $28 million complex built by built by Black folks in reinvestment in the community. And there are people who are pissed about that. Didn't want to give CRA dollars to help support that. I mean, it is incredible, but here it is. The $28 million infrastructure that you have, Black people had to do that. And so that is where we are. It's going to take us to rebuild our communities.
Correct. But what I'm saying, Councilwoman, Tampa, they had $4.3 billion in the economic development. When they want the tech companies to come here, they paid them to come here. So it's not like we got to do it by ourselves. We are taxpaying citizens.
That's true, Valerie. And you know what the question would be? Okay, so if you say, well, if you're coming and we're going to give you some money, then somebody who had a seat at the table, which was not Gwen Henderson, should have said, well, you're going to have to go to East Tampa. If you come, this is where we want you to build. That is the boldness that it would take of the people in charge. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be afraid to say that. If you want the financial incentive, this is where you need to build. Now, it takes that type of courage, and people who are having a seat at the table to do that.
Yeah.
If that opportunity presents itself, I promise you, I will say it. I said it earlier today. I'm like, if you want to build, you need to build affordable housing.
There's somebody in the background.
Yeah.
I just want to say that, companies, you give them incentives to come.
Yeah.
But, it's almost any flimsy excuse to leave. Because if you make demands on wages or, you make demands on benefits or even taxes, those companies will up and leave, because they're almost the cheapest people on the block, when it comes to their money, so cities can make demands and companies will just up
look
and
at
go.
all the companies that removed their DEI programs.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
Diversity.
They were supporters. After George Floyd was murdered, they was like, okay, let's invest some community. What can we do? And elections have consequences. And people who were once supporters are no longer supporters. But Costco said, well, we don't care. We keeping our DEI program.
Right.
That takes courage.
And their shareholders also undergirded that.
Yes, exactly. And so it ain't all us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why we have to do just like our ancestors did. They had to do it themselves, and that we are going to have to look within. We're going to have to look within and can't be afraid, because we are survivors. When you look at what our ancestors did, made a way out of no way, and you actually have a pot to piss in, it is like, what are we going to do to help each other? And that's just...
Let me ask this question about resilience, about resilience building, like the actual... Okay, so storms came, right?
Yeah. Two storms.
The 2 storms, exactly.
Back to back.
And it's why I said storms. Yeah, make sure we're clear about that. Thank you for saying that. And before that, those 2 storms, there were other storms. There's been some work afoot to build the resilience of communities in the Tampa Bay area, especially frontline communities, to make sure that they are resilient and able to bounce back from these storms and different disasters that may happen. Now, knowing that this is the case, that this is an effort, it hasn't happened. And so there are the observation in question for that would be, what is happening to build that resilience in these communities now? Like, for instance, give me an example of what I mean. Resilience, by definition, of course, would be to look at the economics that would help a community to grow or rebuild itself better than what it was before. And resilience would mean also making certain that the infrastructure of a particular community is better than it was before, or replaced to function better than it was before after some disaster has taken place. So in this particular case, what have we seen? What have you seen that would be to the contrary of anybody who would say we're not seeing resilience building taking place in the city of Tampa?
Well, okay, that's a good question. Tomorrow, we have a grand opening for the West Tampa revitalization of Main Street. Now, that's us. That's our area. And so that opportunity is for small businesses to come back and be an economic driver for West Tampa. And we're doing that right now. And I think that people want to see things overnight. That's not how it works. First, it's almost like, you remember when Barack Obama ran for office, for black people was like, well, no. And then he won Iowa. And people was like, okay.
Right.
You know?
I remember.
So there are people who are reinvesting in West Tampa right now. And as that grows and continues and people see the buildings going up and the coffee shop moving in and people hanging out and maybe a bookstore, who knows, then other people come along.
Wait.
I did express interest, I'm not gonna lie. But because some of these buildings date back to 1900, so building that resiliency does take, it's not about just keeping the character of West Tampa, but building for resiliency to last a long time and affordably, so that these businesses can afford to maintain and stay there. That's something that's happening. And I mean, you keep in mind, a lot of those spaces were what we call dilapidated.
Oh, yeah,
so
very,
they need to be they need to be reinforced before they can be saved.
Right.
You know, I mean, look at the Jackson House. Jackson House is standing with the wing and a prayer. You know, we may be able to use some of the. I don't know. I don't even want to. Jackson House doesn't belong to the city of Tampa. It belongs to the Jackson House Foundation, and so people think that that's our responsibility, and we have dedicated money toward that because we know that saving historically Black structures is important. And that is the case. But
what is the problem with Jackson?
I cannot answer that. I'm so glad you asked, and I hope so many people are listening. I cannot answer why there is a delay, but I invite you to invite the foundation so that they can tell everybody what's going on. Mm-hmm. I don't know if their hands are tied, if there's still something on a legal side of it that has to be resolved. On our end, from the city, we worked out, you know, the things that needed to be worked out with an easement or a right of way or something. That's been done. So I don't know what the holdup is. I want to see the renovations start there. It was stabilized a few years ago, and so whatever they did that's holding it up. Every time we get a storm, you drive by and Jackson House is still
resilience.
Standing.
Good God.
Exactly.
Whoa.
That's a lot of prayers that's keeping it up, but something has to be done. It has deteriorated, and you know, something has to be done. But you know, there are things that are being done. And land, it takes land. There's a 22nd Street corridor that we're looking to improve, where there's the Gator Building. I don't know if you're familiar with that area, you know, across from College Hill Projects. That's a great opportunity to be an economic driver for East Tampa. But, you know, we still have some land purchases that we have to do to round that out. Things just take time. I do see, you know, some things happening in our lifetime. You know, West Tampa's finally coming together. I went to that groundbreaking. I've been a council person for at least a year and a half, and so it'll be when you really can see the end result will be a year from now, or not even all of it. You know, phases of it taking place. So to answer your question about resiliency, there are things like the West Tampa Historic Project redevelopment that's taking place that I can say right now, or even the building that's going up in the Fair Oaks building, that a lot of different engineering processes to make it very efficient and what have you, for it to be built to last is one of the other things that's taking place. I wish I had some construction language, Walter, but I don't. You know, right. I just know that there's some good things that's where it's being built to last, and possibly award winning too. So from a construction standpoint, the company who's developed Skanska is anticipating they are submitting for some awards because of the work that they've done over there.
Councilwoman, the event is taking place tomorrow. Can you repeat what time and the location?
I wish I had my city phone with me, but Darlene, text me if you're listening. I believe that groundbreaking ceremony is at 10 o'clock.
I think so.
I think it's at 10 a.m.
I heard about it being at about 10. But we will be on the lookout for that. Anybody who has that information, if you will, call in 813-239-9663.
Yeah, I try not to carry my city phone on Sundays.
I know that's right.
I definitely want to meet with you again. I'm so sorry that I was not able to see you. I was going to still head that way, but I know you said you were leaving around 9:30, so I want to be able to catch you. But if possible, I would love to get your information from Walter so you and I can touch base. Because even though I'm not from Tampa, I'm originally from New York, but I have lived in different states and locations, and my overall goal is to see people succeed, to see communities grow, but I don't believe in playing the victim. I believe in getting all the resources needed to make things better, but I do also believe in holding people accountable. So I appreciate everything that you said today, because I do believe you probably reached a lot of your constituents that were asking some of the same questions I did, you know, and they just wanted the answer like the previous caller that was there. And you can't control everything. We know this. You know, this is something we should all understand. We know it's not all on one person's hands. But at the same time, as I always say, we put you at the table to help us, you know. And when I'm saying help us, I live in Brandon. I don't live in West Tampa, like I said, I'm not from Florida. But I've been coming back and forth to Florida since 1988. I'm 57 years young. I've seen it when it looked terrible, and I've seen the growth of it as well. But I also want to see the people that's in the community understand they do have the ability to grow. they have to take advantage of the resource that's available. So I agree with you when you say we put it out there on the table, let y'all know it's here. You have to make that choice to pick it up and move forward.
Absolutely. Not only have we put it out there, y'all, I was telling Walter this during the break, even with some infrastructure projects, the city of Tampa staff called every single Black qualified certified contractor saying, please apply for this project that we have coming before you. I mean, and this is me being tough. If you are a businessman or woman, nobody should have to beg you to apply for some work. But that has happened because we don't want to be accused of, there's not enough Black contractors working on this job. But now that you know the background, well, we called every single one of them and told them to apply. I mean, that makes a difference, because then people go, well, dang. I didn't know that. Of course, and we shouldn't have to put that out there, but that has happened a couple of times. And so, there are a lot of people who work for the city of Tampa that care about our communities and work toward improving them every single day. And when you look at the city staff, it is extremely diverse. People who have seats at the table that look like us, that are doing the right thing every single day, and across various departments, from police to fire to infrastructure. We are there. Parks and recreation. We are there, having a seat at the table, trying to do the best for our community. So, I just don't want people to think that doesn't happen. And so it's never going to be perfect. We have to look at our government, for Pete's sake. Nothing is going to be perfect. But at the end of the day, more of us do need to be engaged. And, a lot of people that care about Tampa don't live in Tampa. And so that's important, though. They still care. They still want to see us, thriving and doing our best because they have their businesses here. They come into town. They support the infrastructure that's here. We have small businesses that need support, and so it takes a village. It really does.
I got to ask this question.
Yeah,
and we have two calls we got to get to.
Okay.
Citizens Review Board. What are your thoughts on it? And
I voted on that. I mean, you know that the Citizen Review Board, the governor of the state of Florida made having a Citizen Review Board illegal. Mm-hmm. Okay, see, why y'all took the Citizen Review Board? Your governor did that. Okay, wow. But what the chief of police did was he did create an advisory board of people. He has his own advisory panel, and he was very proactive in doing that. But people criticize that. We don't have a Citizen Review Board.
I'm sorry. Who is our police chief now?
Dr. Chief Lee Burkall.
Okay. Now let me ask.
So my thoughts on that is when the Citizen Review Board was in place, what's so interesting is that there are police officers who've gotten fired, and because they did something wrong or they've been punished by the leaders of our Tampa Police Department. That happens without the Citizen Review Board. We have a very good chief of police, and he is not afraid to discipline his staff, his officers, when they do something wrong.
Well,
with or without a review board.
Right. And my question is based on a couple of things. One is there was a period where there were some misconceptions that actually prolonged the pursuit of the public actually going forward with protesting this issue, and that was whether or not it was legislative. At that particular point, it wasn't legislative. There was a rumor out that at that particular point was legislative, and nothing could be done by city council to empower or to review or empower the Citizens Review Board. Now, fast forward, we looked at, well, not fast forward, when we looked further into it and what was an advisory committee, the issue there was that there was no ability to look at the current issues.
Okay, let me tell you this. I can answer that real quick.
Okay.
I am a union person. I am a teacher in a union, and I am protected. And the police are no different. They are a union and they are protected. You do not have a right to see things that you're not entitled to see. And so that was an issue for some folks in the community. But at the end of the day, regardless of whether the offer was black, white, it doesn't matter. They are in a union and they are protected and they have their union fighting for them. That's the same thing that happened with teachers, and so it may not work for some citizens of the city of Tampa, but at the end of the day, a union is a union and they are strong. And that's why you pay your dues. And there was a time when I needed protection, and my union was there for me. Okay, I was under investigation. She said I pushed her, and so, well, Gwen, you need to sit home until we work this out. And so I had to play my position, and I had my union stand up and protect me. That is going to happen. That is how this country works. And so does that conflict with what people in the community want? Yes, it probably does. Some people who just, look at the surface of an issue and, they don't like what happened and feel like, well, he should be terminated or he or she should be terminated or not just punished or, something else should happen to them. I don't know. I don't have all the ins and outs of all the answers of what the public is concerned about sometimes. It's just black and white for me. I just happen to be a union girl, and at the end of the day, I will always be a union girl. I need protection.
Okay. We got 2 calls on the line. Caller, welcome to the Sunday Forum.
Good morning, Chris Steiner, Clearwater here. Councilwoman, my question for you is, have you taken a stance on water fluoridation? Because it's really become a very popular issue here.
Water fluoridation? I don't even know what that is.
Taking fluoride out of water.
Fluoride out of water.
Right, or adding it to whichever one.
Yeah, that's the Kennedy guy that wants to take the fluoride out of the water.
Yeah, and Winter Haven has already followed suit, so you see politics is all over this right-wing politics.
See, that's not. Is that a city council issue?
No. But it could be if the city decide or county decides.
I would have to talk to. Should we take the fluoride out water?
No,
I don't think so.
No, too many of our children have. I'm on the position of it as a scientist. That too many children, too many of our children especially, are lacking fluoride, and so there's a need, I believe, for that to be in there. Now there's this thing that you could have over-fluoridation, but that's why you mentioned the fluoride.
Yeah. I think there's this this misinformation about it leading to Alzheimer's. Not Alzheimer's, but autism. It's just crazy. Yeah. It's unproven. Go ahead.
That's not my lane. And so I know that we've had fluoride for a very, very long time. And so I'll just stick with that and wait to see what happens.
Right. And in all fairness, just as a scientist, to you, I would suggest making certain that you talk to people like myself or like a Jim Shirk or people like that who are engineers that have worked with this type of stuff before to make advice on that type of thing.
Absolutely. And that's part of being an educator, doing your homework when the topic presents itself. And I will definitely do that. But I don't have an answer for you today.
And I think that it also speaks to political problems with the state at the state level behind these type of issues. But go ahead, caller. You're on the Sunday Forum.
Yes, this is Solar.
Morning.
Solar, good morning.
Good morning.
Even though you are just one individual, we have to have principles and do research and study. If you study Charles Barron and his wife in the Bronx of New York, they didn't compromise with corporations and all about this diversity. They stood up for people to have a place to live. Not no affordable housing. That's a basic human right. It's a place to live.
I agree with you on that.
You don't compromise. I'm just one individual. I can't do this and do that. That's the problem that we have right now. So all I suggest is say that do study and research, and the people will come. Once you stand up for the people will get voted into the city council. That's the reason why Trump got in. He only won 30% of the vote because people didn't vote. The guy who talked economics, Richard Wolff, said that. He only won 30% of the vote. If you have principles and standards, people will go out and vote for the right people to be on city council.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make the changes. And another real reason why I called, homage and salute to Leonard Peltier for him being finally free.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Leonard Peltier,
the Native American,
right out there in Lake Worth federal prison. He got pardoned by Leonard Peltier is going back home to Dakota. The Native Americans, we have to respect these people. Follow their principles and standards. Follow their principles and standards. And there's a brother on CNN, propaganda CNN, Victor Blackwell. He got his own program that comes out on Saturday. And he had talked to Julius Bossy Garvey's son, about being pardoned. And they denied his pardon. Bossy Garvey didn't do nothing wrong. But I'm glad it brought tears to my eyes to know that Leonard Peltier is coming home. Finally. Okay. Finally coming home where he deserved to be. And go to Red Nation Podcast to get all the information about principles and standards. Okay. All the stuff about multiculturalism and all of that. Amos Wilson said all that is hocus pocus. Diversity, DIEA. Some people don't have no laws. The only law is the law of self-preservation, self-determination, where you speak for yourself, do for yourself, and you liberate yourself, and color don't have nothing to do with it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, sir.
You know, I'm also the city councilwoman for the unhoused. I like saying that publicly, and I have to tell that to some civic and community associations sometimes. I will not criminalize the unhoused, and I just wanted to say that. I won't have to dive in, but yeah.
I think that speaks to the relationship with the state, because the state wants to criminalize, wants to force cities to criminalize the homeless.
Absolutely.
And there are people within the city that feel the same way. You know, there's people on the street who are, you know, their well-being is just as important as yours and mine.
Sure.
That's right.
And they want to get these guys felonies for little things. It's sorry things so they can put them in those beds in the federal pen or state pen.
And talking about pardons, the worst pardons was a violent January 6th pardon. Just wanted to throw that in there. We got another call though.
I circled Martin Luther King, Gasparilla. I want to talk to y'all about Alicia Bryant.
Oh, okay.
We definitely got to have you back, Councilwoman. We got to have you back.
Definitely.
I gave y'all all my time. I gave y'all more time than I had initially planned. So when I walk in church late today, preacher, I apologize.
Yeah, I'm sure you understand.
Blame the Sunday Forum.
Yeah.
Caller, welcome to the Sunday Forum.
Good morning.
This is Chris Steiner, and I'm calling back because it is a city council issue as well as a county commission issue, since so many communities are removing water or stopping water fluoridation.
Oh, I'm just not going to address the fluoride. I'm going to have to do some research on that. So I know you don't like that response, but I don't have anything for you today.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Can I talk about Alicia Bryant? I really want to tell y'all about this young lady. She is Alicia Bryant is one of my former students, and she has been underemployed for a very long time. And she finally got a job with the Department of Defense in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Alicia Bryant, ALEYSHA. Please go do the research, the GoFundMe page. She is moving to Colorado. Unfortunately, if external candidates don't get relocation, we are doing everything we can to help her. So I would just greatly appreciate that. Her mother passed away. Her father is disabled. And she's been taking care of herself for a very long time. And this is a big win for her. But we need to get her to Colorado and have a safe place to live. So I'm going to go above and beyond. But please look for that GoFundMe, Alicia Bryant, ALEYSHA. So I wanted to say that. And I appreciate you all listening to me on that. $5, $10, $50, whatever you have. She wrote her own story on her GoFundMe, so you can check it out.
Okay. Question. And her name's Alicia Bryant.
Alicia Bryant.
Okay. Now, question. You brought up something earlier about we were talking about the groundbreaking.
Gasparilla or
the
groundbreaking? Oh, Main Street. Yeah, let me see if Darlene texts me. Go
she
ahead.
just sent me a text on it.
Oh, good.
So I got the text, and that is Monday, January 27th, tomorrow, which is 10 a.m. at 2144 West Main Street. 2144 West Main Street here in Tampa. The key contacts for that would be Natalia Vardina, which is 813-624-5625, and Josh Cascio, which is 813-493-1841, 1841.
And this is the rebuilding of historic Main Street and bringing more economic vibrancy to Main Street, where I used to hang out as a teenager. I am looking forward to this one.
You think I did at Main Street?
Yeah, Barbecue King, Moses
King.
White, Bexley's
Yes,
Chicken
sir.
was still in existence.
Yes, sir.
Telling my age, absolutely. When it was safe to just, we were just teenagers, but that's what we did. We hung out in West Tampa, and I loved every minute of it. No regrets there. Riverfront Park on Sundays.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Shout out to George Smith.
So what about Gasparilla? I experienced my first Gasparilla yesterday.
Really?
I for the first time, I attended the brunch prior to Gasparilla, but I saw the boats and the guns and the pirates, and people are really excited about that, and they were happy to see me there. But I was, I'm going to ask a question to the city, like, how much money do we spend on this? Because y'all...
I never heard that question asked.
I was looking for it in the budget,
It's only the Mardi Gras.
and so check this out. No, see, that's one of those things. It's like that probably would make some people uncomfortable when you shouldn't be asking that,
Right.
But so then leave our sidewalk alone, leave our Riverwalk alone, okay? If you don't want me asking about how much it costs to spend, how much money we spent on Gasparilla, then don't you worry about our sidewalk.
Hey, listen, I want to thank you very much, Councilwoman, for joining us today here on the Sunday Forum, and thank everybody for being here. And as always, from my voice to the radio waves, to the hearts and minds of people, we love you. And there's not a thing you can do about it here on the Sunday Forum.